Hello, this is Levitro, the Dragon in Cyberspace, coming to you with all news, tips, and tricks within the gaming spectrum. And it looks like another article has come out regarding children and games. Yes. But not what did you think? Because, as the gamer reports, playing video games can actually help boost intelligence. Study shows that screen time might be good for kids. This is nothing new to me. There have been many studies over the years about kids and games. Like, for example, the most common knowledge now comes back way back over 20 years ago, is that games can help improve hand-eye coordination. Games can also help veterans with PTSD or people diagnosed with PTSD. I should know. I was in one of the initial studies. Moving on. While it's commonly thought that gaming can be harmful for young children, neuroscientist Torkel Klingberg and a team of researchers from the Netherlands, Germany, and Sweden claim it might actually cause a boost in intelligence. As reported by Science Alert, researchers looked at the screen records of nearly 10,000 children in the US ages 9 and 10 who spent roughly 1 hour per day playing video games. The team then returned 2 years later to over 5,000 of those children to see what impact gaming had. Children who spent more time gaming saw a higher increase in IQ. They found that children who spent more time playing video games than their peers saw an average increase of 2.5 points higher to their IQ. This figure was based on how they performed in tasks related to reading, comprehension, visual, spatial processing, flexible thinking, self-control, and memory. However, I do want to point out here, Nate, as well as the PC Gamer, the study did not factor in differences between mobile and console games, only looked at children in the US. Our results support the claim that screen time generally doesn't impair children's cognitive abilities, that playing video games can actually help boost intelligence, Klingberg said. We didn't examine the effects of screen behavior on physical activity, sleep well-being, or school performance, so we can't say anything about that. We'll now be studying the effects of other environmental factors and how the cognitive effects relate to children's childhood brain development. The team explained that previous studies on this subject had far smaller sample sizes and missed vital context like socioeconomic backgrounds, which led to conflicting reports about the impacts of screen time. Their study attempted to address these issues while also looking beyond gaming to socializing, TV, and online videos. But even still, more research is required to investigate how exactly screen time affects our habits and our bodies. While this study does support the idea that gaming has a positive impact on intelligence, it's worth considering the data was based on self-reported figures. Children may have underreported exactly how long they spent gaming, skewing the results. Similar to types of games weren't considered. It'd be fascinating to see how a child who spent hours playing puzzle or logic games developed their intelligence versus someone who primarily plays online shooters like Fortnite, as opposed to considering games on a homogeneous entity. Well, that's where I'm going to disagree. While you do have a valid point, every game requires you to solve a puzzle. For example, you could be playing Fortnite, right? And your question is, how do I keep myself alive? You have to run from this area to that area, sure. But you also have people trying to go pew pew on you. So you build little base things to help avoid things and learn how to duck and cover, what's the best strategy to do what is, and how to move throughout the map, right? Or let's look at Duke Nukem. Duke Nukem Forever. We played it last night, and there was a scene where we had to do a pipe puzzle. We had to solve the pipes. That's still a puzzle. Regardless of what game you play, whether it be violent, whether it be a logic-based game or anything else, there is still a puzzle of how to get from point A to point B. How do I achieve this task? How do I solve this quest? Everything requires some sort of cognitive and critical thinking skills. That's what games are. Moving on. Regardless of fascinating study sheds light on what impacts gaming could have on growing children and how the modern world is shaping the next generation. And yes, I'm going to say that with all things, like for example, I have a child and I let him play games, but his whole life isn't ruled by video games. He also plays Legos. He also has Hot Wheels. He goes outside and plays sports. He needs a balance, a moderation. Because just like with anything else, there is such a thing as too much of a good thing. You have to teach your children to moderate, know when it's okay to do this, when it's okay to do that, and when they have enough time. Because games are fun, and when you're having fun, you tend to lose track of time. But it's always been known, it's no secret, is that games can create a healthy child if the parent raises them right. Not the government, not some scientist, not some armchair parent who has a degree in psychology who's never had kids themselves. Parents, by knowing their children. And as gamer parents, it is our job when we pass the torch to also teach them lessons we've learned, that there are responsibilities and duties. But yes, games seem to increase your intelligence and your problem solving skills. But what do you think, viewer? Put your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, happy gaming.